I thought it would make some sense if we would visit today based on the decision that came forth from the Jefferson Circuit Court regarding the Louisville smoking ban. As you probably know, the plaintiffs in that case asked the court to strike down the entire smoking ban based on the exemption for horse race facilities being exempted and having that as part and parcel of the overall smoking ban that the Metro Council passed and that I signed into law. We are pleased that in Judge Clayton's language of her decision, she makes it very clear that in her opinion, Louisville has the right to ban smoking in public places. In fact, let me quote her. She says, quote, "It is within the purview of local governments to enact ordinances which prohibit smoking to protect public health." That's great news for the health of this community, for our kids, for the community as a whole. In her ruling, Judge Clayton did strike down the exemption for Churchill Downs, saying that it violates the state Constitution, actually the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution. As you know, I've long supported a comprehensive smoking ban with no exceptions, and I've worked diligently with members of the council to bring that about. The ruling today is very clear, and I support the ruling today. Therefore, the Louisville Metro Health Department will enforce the smoking ban in all establishments, including Churchill Downs, as soon as the judge's order is final and the window of appeal closes. I will not appeal the decision on behalf of the city, and I'm hopeful that members of the Metro Council will support that, and also, since they are a party to the suit, they too will not appeal the decision of the judge. Based on my conversations earlier today with Churchill Downs, they are fully prepared to comply with the citywide smoking ban at the conclusion of the time period for appeals. So we're there, we're not appealing, and we're ready to go forward. Any questions?
Mayor, any concern about an economic impact or fallout from this?
You know, all the other businesses and hospitality industry participants and office buildings and hotels and restaurants, et cetera, have been able to do quite well having this ban in place, and I'm sure that Churchill Downs will do well also. If you're talking about how Churchill Downs will fare against institutions across the river, you know, in all honesty, as you can see what's happening in America today, it's just a matter of time till our neighbors across the river catch up with the flow that's occurring, the momentum that's occurring in terms of protecting children and protecting families from secondhand smoke. So I suspect that within the given period of time, Indiana will fall right into line with where we are. But we are going to comprehensively enforce the law, and Churchill Downs will be a part of that comprehensive enforcement.
What kind of timeline are we looking at, since you said?
Yeah, you have a 10-day period, they tell me, for the order of the judge to become final, and then there is a 30-day period for the potential for appeals. So when that period is over, we will send out the groups, well, based on complaints. You understand how the smoking ban works. Based on a complaint, we then go out, do an investigation, and when appropriate, cite.
So the appeal must happen within that 30-day window?
That's correct. Otherwise, the law stands as it is, excuse me, the decision stands as it is, and it becomes a part of the law.
Can you clarify, because earlier you said you were hoping Metro Council supports you in this?
Yeah, I have not talked to members of the council, although several of them are here who have been supporters of the issue for quite a while. All I'm saying is that the city of Louisville was a party to this lawsuit as a defendant. The health department was a party to this lawsuit as a defendant. I was sued as mayor, and the Metro Council was sued. And so we are not going to appeal this decision. The Metro Council, should there be a sufficient number of votes on the Metro Council to move in that direction, I guess that would be an option for them. That's why you have that 30-day period of appeal.
You had spoken to Churchill Downs?
I have.
And it sounded as if they were willing to...
Not sounded as if. They will comply.
So does that suggest that they would not appeal? Then
they're not a defendant in the case, so they would not have the right to appeal this decision. Now, there are ways they could get into the court, but the leadership of Church Announcers told me that they will comply.
Was there room for the plaintiffs to try to strike down the whole ordinance now?
Well, I think that although the language is pretty clear in the judge's decision, as was the language in Judge Wine's decision, which was previously issued, that both of which clearly state in the language of their decisions that it is appropriate for a city to pass a smoking ban ordinance to protect the health of their citizens. But that has to be argued, and I think they have a date in December set for the argument over the whole issue of is it or isn't it appropriate for a city to pass a smoking ban. We feel very confident we'll be successful in that based on this decision, based on Judge Wine's decision, and based on other court cases that have come up, including the ones in Lexington.
The plaintiff says that he doesn't think the ordinance would have passed if that exemption wasn't there. Do you agree with what he said?
No, I'm not here to tell you how the council would have voted or would not have voted. All I can tell you is the council voted. It went into law. The court has said that it is exempt, that it is inappropriate, it is unconstitutional, the court said, to allow an exemption for Churchill Downs. And so as of once the window closes on the appeal process, we will, Churchill Downs will be under the smoking ban, and as we've said, Churchill Downs is prepared to comply. Okay?
While we've got you, can you comment on the Ford contract?
Well, I haven't had an opportunity to read it yet, but it's a tentative agreement between the leadership of the UAW and the leadership of Ford Motor Company, and we spent an enormous amount of time in Dearborn, Michigan, and working with the state and working with the community here to ensure that these facilities stay open. And from what I understand, without having formally read the document yet, it does look like the two plants will continue. It does look like there will be investments, especially the one that has been, most people have questioned, and that is the one on Fern Valley Road, the assembly plant. It looks like there's going to be an investment made for a platform, a flex platform to be invested in, which says to me that a new vehicle or two may very well be forthcoming over the next several years. But the good news is that the success of Ford Motor in this community, and they told us this time and time again in Dearborn, is based on the men and women who work at Ford Motor Company. Their productivity, their quality control, the way they put out a product and do it efficiently really puts us in great stead as Ford looks to compete one factory against another. So the success of this extended 4-year contract commitment and the investment in the two facilities here, an awful lot of it, although there are incentives from the city and the state, an awful lot of that success should be given to the men and women who work at Ford. Okay? Thank you all.